Hey y'all, welcome back. Me and my family went on vacation for a week and I'm about to go assess the damage. I've already taken a quick look around and noticed some things. Lost a few plants, lost some fruits, but all in all it wasn't too bad considering how much I have going on here. So let's go check it out and I'll do some work to straighten things up. And I'll do some weed eating tomorrow in my swales. So let's do it. First things first, let's go check out all the fruits we had going. Sugar Baby still doing well. This Moon and Stars is getting pretty huge. I mean, you can see it in there. This Golden Honeydew, not quite ready yet. It'll make a squeaky sound when it's ready. The outside will get tacky, but it's starting to get a good color. We've got some new Charleston Grays forming. There's one. There's two more. And a third odd-shaped one. Probably didn't get enough water. Got another Golden Honeydew here. And a little Sugar Baby right in there. And then another little Sugar Baby right in there. Now for the bad news. My big Charleston Gray, sorry for spinning y'all, had a dark spot on it because it was oddly shaped and it was collecting water right here. And you can see it's rotted pretty good here. So I'll cut off this part and harvest this and see if there's any good flesh in there on the other end, but it may be a complete loss because it might not have ripened up enough. Now, one of the first things I have to do when I have been away for so long is corral all of these melon and squash and sweet potato vines because they take over my swales, which are my walking paths. Another loss I noticed over here, these squash shouldn't be ready yet, and they shouldn't be rotting yet because they're only at 50 days, just barely. But this one is rotten on this end. So not sure what happened there. You can see it's not even corking when the vine right here turns woody. So maybe it was holding water somewhere too, or a bug got into it. I'm not really sure. But all the other ones look okay that I've seen. In addition to that, I lost a few plants. This pink lemonade blueberry got fried, and so did this roselle right here. Now, you may not follow the news, but 3 days in a row this past week were the hottest global average temperature ever recorded. Ooh, look, there's a baby lizard. Hey, little guy. And so I'm not surprised that I lost things. We did pay someone to come water, but even with that, we had at least these two plant losses. And not going to get too upset about it because she had a lot to take care of, and most of the things survived. The kumquat held on to all of its fruit over here. See, it's getting loaded up with little fruits. And my persimmons all held their fruit. So all in all, wasn't too bad. Look, it's starting to get some color to them. I've got to weed eat. I don't have a mower, so I just weed eat everything. I'm going to weed eat all of this grass. Going to weed eat my swales and my little path right here. And I've got a bunch of vines to corral. And so that's just a matter of taking them, oh, little Seminole in there, and redirecting them onto my berms and out of the path. Pretty easy to do. And I can fill out my berms that way, another Seminole, and keep the weed pressure down on the berms and then can weed eat without having to worry about damaging all my vines. Just got a little fruit forming. Also, squash over here, you can tell it's stressed in the middle here. It didn't get much water, so I'm gonna have to come in and do some spot watering on that one to try and get it back in good health. Hopefully it'll recover. Could be why that squash over there rotted, because it didn't get enough water and something happened. I'm also gonna cut back at least 2 of these bananas on the edges here to try to open up this walking path, because even though Barbie wants me to keep this, it's a little thick with bananas, and I could use some biomass to pour on the end of my berm here. Help keep these things watered. So I'm going to get to that, and I'll get back to you and show you the finished progress. Alright, I've got all my squash and melons back on their berms. Also found another moon and stars right in here. And now the sweet potatoes, they're just too aggressive, and they're going to grow and grow and grow. So I cut those back a good bit from the edge, and I'll take all this once I'm done and give it to the chickens. So let me get to work on that. Alright, there you go. That's 1 week's worth of sweet potato greens growing in the swales. These are edible, so if we needed to eat them, we could, but the chickens like them too. And just to show you a reference, that's a large pile right there. So now you can see I've got a walking path again, cleaned up this side as well, and all my melons are redirected where they need to be. And this took me about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes to do all of this, maybe 10, somewhere in between. So not too bad for once a week. And then the only other maintenance I do, like I said, is I'm going to weed eat this grass because it's getting a little tall. And that'll help make some paths. It'll feed all of my berms with the cut grass and give the moisture that the grass has as it breaks down. I'm also going to cut this squash and that Charleston gray out of curiosity. So let me get a tool to do that, and then I can show y'all what they're looking like on the inside. Alright, so you can see this squash is something rotten, and it stinks. Barbie got me this machete here for Father's Day, so I'm going to use this bad boy to chop these open. I've used it in the past to cut these comfrey back, but I didn't get that on film, so it's kind of rotten on the inside here. You can see that dark ring. This flesh on the outside looks good, but this was not ready yet, I don't believe. I don't know why it rotted. This one, like I said, was pulling water here. So let's see what's inside. It looks ripe. We may try to eat this half. Oh, smells pretty ripe. It might be a little sour. We'll give it a taste and see what it's like. But still a pretty good chunk of watermelon there. So hopefully it tastes good, the part that's not rotten. Alright, taste test, Charleston gray. It's so sweet. It's like perfectly ripe. Alright, here we are 3 days later. I woke up in the middle of the night after my shooting those first clips and had a pinched nerve in my neck. And I couldn't move my head at all, but I'm feeling mostly better now and was able to get some stuff done on Sunday and after work today. I pruned back the willow chair again, so it's looking nice and neat. I cut all the swales and the parking strips and the area around the peaches here. What else have I done? Oh, I cut back the leaves. I decided to leave the bananas for now. I'll probably dig them up and pot them, but I cut the leaves back that were growing into the path, so we now have a path here again. We did get a good bit of rain the other day, pigeon pea, and so things are really happy again. They were starting to really struggle with the heat and lack of water, but they're all looking good again. I need to tie this branch up here because these two fruit are making it heavy, so I'll tie it to this branch right there. Make sure this doesn't snap. And I've got a lot of work left to do in the back. Let's see real quick, the wilderness area. Sorry for spinning you. Got this cut, and I pruned all the suckers from this crepe myrtle, so that opened up some area there. But you can see this is really starting to fill out back here. Let's head to the back and I'll show you what all I have left to do and what I've done. This kumquat covered in fruits and now flowering again, so the rain really made it happy. You can see some of the squash are still struggling a little bit. Also, my mom helped me, and I did a bit myself, but got a good bit of weeding done in this bed. So you can see that patch over there. That's what it all used to look like. And this area is all opened up. Chickens have a big pile of compost. Compost piles got piles of stuff, but this area's been done. Got all of that area over there left to do. And this area right here has been done. And I worked on the back over here, but still got a little bit left on this side. Alright, let's go to the back and see what's going on back there. Potted plants have really been struggling, but everything survived the vacation. Got pineapples, willow, mulberry, jujube, papaya, suicine mulberry, and pomegranates, some other random stuff. Got the jaboticaba and a chestnut, some muscadines from seed, fig cuttings, native mulberry cuttings, thornless blackberry cuttings, more pomegranate cuttings, and Cuban oregano or Vicks plant, and some elderberry back in there. All of these succulents survived. This haworthia, that spiky one down in there, is making a flower for the first time, so I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. Chickens are still alive. They've been struggling with the heat, so we've got them a little swimming pool. We've got them a crawfish tray that we fill up regularly, and then they've got their normal 2 watering systems in there. So we just want to make sure they have water. I did a little bit of weeding back here. You can see the elephant ear. This area hasn't been getting water very much, and it's been struggling. All the turmeric's doing okay. Mint is flowering. The thornless blackberries are just massive. Like, can I get the whole thing in this frame? If I keep backing up, maybe. So that's just one plant, and there's 2 more plants to the side of it, and I mean, these things are 8 feet wide easy. So I'm going to need to do some pruning on those, open up this path again because it is currently closed. Let's see. The 2 mulberry cuttings are really starting to take off. They're going to help protect this avocado in the winter and also throw some shade to the north to the chicken yard. They won't be permanent. This Suicine mulberry is doing okay now, finally starting to grow. I've got an actual marshmallow, the officinalis. I'll put the scientific name, but this is the one that the root is used to make marshmallow. My swamp hibiscus is also called a marshmallow because mallows are hibiscus, but it's not the one used for that purpose. You can see my fig circle is doing great. Yarrow, holy basil, Goomy, mother fig, taller than me. The Satsuma is really branching out. Goldenrod, willow leaf goldenrod, and ironweed, frog fruit, mimosa, lemongrass. Got ground cherries starting to come in. Got mustard, baby mustards everywhere, and a lot of baby collards coming up in here. I just spread all the seeds from the plants. Sweet basil, Thai basil, more Thai basil. I need to do a lot of weeding in here. A little bit of weeding in the asparagus bed. I need to eventually pull this lettuce and plant something else there because it's about done, but you can see the kale's finally starting to grow. Different varieties of kale. And got a little bit of weeding to do over here, but I did a bunch recently. Lemon verbena. Onions everywhere. Baby Egyptian walking onions in here as well. The peppers doing good. Swiss chard, not loving the heat. And the muscadines that I grew from seed a few years back are really starting to climb here. That's basically it. I have a whole lot of weeding to do in this area. Got shiso, goldenrod, morning glories, chamber bitters, all kinds of regular. These are those hawks something, Japanese hawk's beard or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out and put the name. Nut sedge. So lots of random undesirables. I want to fill this area with strawberries to compete with the parsley and the onions and chives. And I just deadheaded all the seeds on these basil, pinched all the seeds off to get them growing bushier and not dying because they fulfilled their mission of making more plants. And I started on the holy basil here on the front, but you can see I've got quite a bit left to do. Here's that path that we used to have. I'm gonna have to take this mother fig plant out, like I said in my last video. Use that for cuttings. It's just gonna crowd out this Goomy and the blackberries, and I want them to have at least this space. I'm gonna need to trim all these blackberries back so that I can get a path going through here again. My strawberries under here are getting crowded out, so I need to move them to the front. A lot of them are dying back because these blackberries are just so vigorous, which I'm not mad at, but I want the strawberries to not just die off. I want them to be somewhere where they can be successful. I can't really think of anything else to update y'all on. I hope y'all are staying safe and cool and don't work too hard in the heat. Take lots of breaks, drink lots of water. Y'all have a wonderful evening.